Hello everyone and welcome to Core TV. I'm Vasily Hadzelis and I'm joined here today with Cavell Cooper from Hot Property Management. Thanks for joining us today, Cav.
You're welcome.
Cav, I know that you have a very unique and very interesting way of leasing property. You're famous for it, and I'd love for you to share with the viewers today exactly what an open for inspection looks like with you.
Well, I'll be honest with you, there is many ways that we do open for inspection depending how I'm feeling.
Yep.
But most of those days I can be found on the ground in a bedroom showing the size. So one of the things that...
What does it actually mean? What does that actually mean?
We show a whole heap of new property,
Yeah.
and everyone knows that obviously bedrooms are getting smaller, fridge sizes are getting smaller, and we just want to point out, I personally want to point out, every potential pitfall that a tenant might have moving in.
Yeah.
So something that I get asked regularly is, or the comment made by the tenant would be that this is a really small bedroom, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm 175 tall. I am just bigger than the width of a queen size bed. So I'm quite happy to lie down in a suit any day of the week in a bedroom and point out just how big it is.
Wow, okay.
If we need bedside tables, we can easily add them.
So you're actually getting on the floor to counteract the comment of it being a small bedroom by knowing exactly what height a queen size bed is, knowing what your height is, knowing that they're virtually the same, and demonstrating to the tenant there and then to nullify the objection that they could fit a queen size bed in this bedroom.
Absolutely spot on.
Now, I don't think most leasing consultants would do that. I actually think that it sometimes can become the whole too hard basket thing to go the extra mile, but it sounds like you're doing that, and it sounds like you're converting more applicants into properties because you're actually just doing things that no one would really expect to get done.
I mean, we're there. If I'm turning up, I obviously want to find a tenant for a landlord, and no one gets paid to show. People get paid to rent, so we want to find a great tenant, and
That's a great point. Now, talk to me about with the fact that you've got the tenants through the door. You're doing those things. You're asking questions. You're taking names and numbers. I'm guessing that's a standard thing that you do for
absolutely, without question, every time. Where possible, we try to have two people.
Yep.
But our key thing that we do differently is we arrive early every time for every inspection, no matter what.
Okay, so when you say early, you're getting there 5 to 10 minutes to actually prepare the home for
If I've not been there before, then
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I'm there at least 20 to 25 minutes early.
Yeah.
I want to know the ins and outs of that property.
Yeah.
And I like to point out everything that you can see, even though you can see it.
Wow, okay.
Most of our inspections, and my team are all the same. We arrive early, and 9 times out of 10, we will have finished having our clients through before the actual open time.
And that's because you're getting there
Because we're there, we're available to open the door.
Yeah.
It also means that if you've got someone really keen, you can spend the time with them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if they want to take some measurements and they're prepared tenants, and we all know that every tenant will bring a measuring tape.
Yeah.
They've got time to spend in the property because it's about half an hour will be there. Ideally, when there's no one there, then you might get started on an ingoing.
What about the chestnut? And let's come back to the starting of the ingoings. I think that's a really good point. What about the old chestnut of a tenant getting there just as you're closing the property for the open? Do you stay back? Do you appoint another time? Like, how do you handle that sort of situation?
Well, the hardest thing is getting people there.
Yeah.
Right? So why would we turn some away?
Yeah.
I would always say, you've got 2 minutes, let's go through, and I'll point out everything to you.
Perfect.
For the sake of maybe arriving late at an appointment, which I would never do, we've already allocated enough time for traffic, and we've already allocated enough time to arrive early.
Yeah.
So even though that person may arrive, let's say at 10:15, and our inspection finishes at 10:15, I know that I've still got a bit of time up my sleeve, and that's what makes the difference, especially for our tenants. But also communicate with them. Say, look, I've got another inspection at whatever time.
Yeah.
Come through straight away, and we'll do a quick once around. Happy, easy.
You've got them there, you might as well.
The hardest bit is getting them there.
100%. going back to that point that you made about if you've got time whilst you're at the open to start the ingoing inspection report, are you doing that by hand? Are you doing that using technology? What are you doing to create that?
We use a program called Inspection Manager.
Perfect.
It syncs, it takes photographs, it allows me to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Modification on the fly. I have it on my phone and I also have it on an iPad.
Yeah.
The iPad obviously comes with me everywhere.
Yeah.
I 9 times out of 10 carry it in my back, it literally just slipped into the back of my pants.
Yeah.
And if no one comes, then I'm never standing there doing nothing.
And you're creating the ingoing.
Yeah, and it's just, you can pick it up later, you
Yeah.
make sure that you do one room, and then, if someone comes, great. If
Yeah.
they don't,
Yeah.
well, you move on to the next one.
Yeah, because I sometimes come across leasing consultants saying that they never have enough time once they've found the tenant, once they've approved them, once they've signed the lease to then go out and do the ingoing. Well, you could have actually saved yourself a whole lot of time if you actually did it piece by piece whilst you're at the open for inspection.
So 9% of our tenancies, we guarantee that keys will be ready for 8:30 on the day of the tenancy starts.
Yeah.
So that means it's either a really early start for me, which it has been because we've taken over property,
Yeah.
we've only had a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
but we try to at least get a head start. So it has meant some early starts because I haven't finished it, but that's okay.
Okay, all right. Now, with the fact of getting an applicant to apply and therefore then you approving the application, are you using paper-based application forms? Are you using one form, a T-app? There's lots of technologies. Where do you sit on that?
We've looked at a different array from one form through to the existing paper forms we have.
Yeah.
We, in the last 6 months, have made small changes. We're about to go onto our 4th version in the same amount of time, and they're just slight changes. So every application or everyone we bring through, we hand them an application form. Obviously, if they're interested, we ask that question. And we also give them a business card at the same time. They know who they've met, they've got a contact in the office, they've already started to build that relationship with us. The front page is probably the most important bit,
Yeah.
and it literally just has how to apply. So what we need, what we expect from you, and that's really starting the relationship straight away, off to a good note that we know what we expect and you know what we need to be able to process it.
Yeah.
And at that time, we also encourage them to call if they have any questions, because sometimes that 2-minute phone call can save 3 or 4 emails when they're busy during the day. And we all play phone tag, we all email, they respond with the wrong information, whatever else happens. So we just prefer that one phone call, sort it all out, we can go from there.
Get the deal done there.
And sometimes, every application is different. As much as we all wish they were easy, some of them aren't.
Yeah. Whilst we've got you, and I know that you need to get to that next open for inspection, so we'll wrap up now shortly. But the last thing I'd love for you to impart to any of the leasing consultants, particularly that are watching us today, what would be one thing that you would love to leave with them as something to take away and go and implement right now?
2 things.
2 things. You've not just got one, you've got 2. Okay, let's go.
Number 1. Never be late.
Never be late.
Never be late.
Yep.
There is no reason for it. Stuff happens. Pull over, call them, text them, anyone who's registered. Make sure that if you're going to arrive late, they know.
Yep.
Because people do not give you a second chance. Right? The second thing that's probably the most important is know your product. Know that product really well. Take the time to go through. Look, open your eyes, turn the lights on. Make the property as presentable as it can be, but just know the product and point out everything.
Yeah. So really showcase the home, give the property its best chance of being attractive to the prospective tenant that you've got there.
Opening a door is not showing a property.
Yeah, totally, 100%. It's actually engaging and pointing out the features and so on.
Yeah, and interact with your clients.
Yeah.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
Interact with the clients when they come through. Ask the questions, get to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's where you'll see the gold tenants, and they're the ones that we want.
That's correct.
Because there's a lot of people we bring through, and by talking to them,
You'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cav, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to catching up with you again very soon.
Thanks.
Thanks. Cheers.